Hi everyone, Adarsh here. So today we're gonna see JDK8 BiFunction. What exactly the BiFunction is. So BiFunction is something which the functions which takes two imports, as the name suggests, bi. So it takes two imports and produce output. So basically, they on JDK8 we have a BiFunction, two double BiFunction, two int BiFunction, two long BiFunction. So we're gonna see one by one. So just to demonstrate all these things, these functions, I have just created some sample code. So I'm gonna walk you through that. So in BiFunction first, let's see the BiFunction first. So I'm having a function which gonna take two imports, and do some processing on the imports and then produce the output. So what I have done, I have just created a method BiFunction, and I'm just taking two imports, and I'm taking an instance of BiFunction which is binded to integer, and return type is a string. So basically, so that's what our first basic example is. So just to call that BiFunction, what we can do, we can just create a instance of BiFunction and then override the apply method and then pass whatever the two parameters we are receiving. We'll just do some processing on that and return the string result out of that. So just to call that BiFunction, we can just call the BiFunction two input parameters and the instance of the BiFunction in the SOP. So that will be the first approach. So that is basically a traditional approach. Then we have another approach where we can just pass a anonymous class, and we can just override the apply method and pass the parameters and do our same processing. So that become our second approach. But from the JDK8 onwards, we have a feature of lambda expressions, so which basically talks about only the relevant code which is required to finish up the functionality or perform the task. It doesn't require any unnecessary code. So I'm sorry. So what we can do, we can just, instead of this, passing a whole class implementation, we can just pass this piece of code which exactly does the functionality for us. So what I did, I just copy pasted that thing, and I have just kept the lambda expression symbol here. So that become our third approach. But further we can optimize it, and what we can do, we can just remove this data types, to remove this curly braces, and remove this return statement. So it become a fourth approach for us. So if I just execute this piece of code, you can see that the fourth approach is very optimized in terms of JDK8. We can optimize, but here we have a two parameters. So what we cannot remove this braces here, just because if we have more than one parameters in the method, we cannot remove these braces from the lambda expressions. So see friends, this is how we have a result here. If we just give some space into the result, it will be more nicer view. So here you can see it. So this become our first approach. So like that we can use our BiFunction, which is a basic function here. So I'll come up with two int BiFunction, two long BiFunction, and two double BiFunction in my coming videos. Till then, take care. Bye.